新加坡由索福伊萨东南亚研究院亚细安研究中心4月2日发布了2024年的东南亚态势报告，这是该研究中心连续第6年发布这份报告。调查于今年1月3日至2月23日展开，共有1994人参加调查，他们来自亚细安10国的学界与智库、商界、民间组织、NGO 与媒体、政府部门以及区域与国际机构。报告集中分析了东南亚受访者对中美两国的观感与信任度，并针对多个备受关注的东南亚地缘政治课题进行意见调查。新加坡由索福伊萨东南亚研究院4月2日上午举行线上论坛，邀请世界各地的国际政治专家学者解读调查结果。联合早报为你整理东南亚态势2024的报告重点，以及学者们对调查结果的解读。若被迫在中美之间选边，有 50.5% 的受访者选择中国， 49.5% 选择美国。虽然仅差1个百分点，但这是2020年调查增设这道问题以来，中国首次超越美国成为首选。2023年的调查中，有 61.1% 的受访者选择美国， 38.9% 选择中国。选择美国的受访者比率今年大降超过11个百分点。在中国“一带一路”倡议下受益的马来西亚、印度尼西亚和老挝，进一步倾向中国的趋势最为明显。选择中国的马来西亚和印尼受访者比率大增约20个百分点。其中一位学者指出，今年的调查对象中，来自商界及政府领域的受访者比率增加，来自智库和学界的受访者比率减少。不同群体的关注点不同，也可能影响了今年的结果，同时也显示了东南亚国家对美国的失望。
It doesn't really surprise me. I guess my explanation would be that there is a high level of expectation in Southeast Asia and desire for U.S. Engagement, and particularly different kinds of engagement than the U.S. is actually offering. So there's certainly a great deal of military presence, but countries in the region want something different. They want market access.
I think China has worked very hard to improve and develop diplomatic ties with Asian countries, trying to build political trust, and also has worked to promote economic cooperation with Asian countries through bilateral and multilateral approaches. And also there has been ongoing efforts of cooperation and collaboration in addressing common security concerns, from terrorist attack to public health to climate change, etc. So I think that shows the work over the years China has been done to promote closer ties with Asian countries.
It seems like this is the beginning of a trend. As a number of have observed, this is the first time China has actually shown up in that way. But if we look at the underlying data, it's actually more like a seesaw pattern than a trend. You know, in the past, the percentage that thought America ought to be the number one choice. Last year, yes, indeed, it was 61%, so there's a dramatic decline. But the year before that, America wasn't higher than 61%, it was about 55%. So what America's ratings here and correspondingly China's has been much more a seesaw than it is a direct trend. And by focusing on who crosses the 50% line, we lose sight of that.
尽管受访者认为中国继续在区域经济和政治与战略方面影响力最大，但伴随中国影响力的上升，受访者的担忧也持续上涨。约70%的人对中国在本区域的经济、政治与战略影响力表示担忧，而只有约30%表示欢迎。对美国政治与战略影响力表示担忧的受访者比率也从去年的 44.2% 增加到 59%。对美国经济影响力表示担忧者虽然也增加到 48%， 但欢迎者依然较多，达 52%。
What the survey both last year and this year shows is that yes, it is a statement of fact that people think China has become the most influential economic power. But at the same time, levels of concern about the degree of influence are actually extremely high. So we need to distinguish these two things. The fact that China is acknowledged as most influential does not mean acceptance of that. Similarly, if it were the United States.
How to address this concern and distrust? Say, China, US compete for influence and leadership in Southeast Asia. Well, it's very natural for the US to go to every region to, seek leadership. But China has never come to Southeast Asia to seek leadership. We always talk about, our support for ASEAN centrality in regional cooperation. ASEAN should lead itself. No other external powers should lead ASEAN. So I think this is a big mistrust, misreading of China's intention in Southeast Asia when it talks about, competition for influence. Certainly influence, but definitely not leadership.
虽然许多受访者对中国感到不信任或担忧，但超过50%的东南亚受访者认为自己国家未来3年内和中国的关系会改善，比去年的 38.7% 来得高。不看好自己国家和中国关系前景的受访者中，有 67% 认为中国必须依国际法和平化解主权纠纷，他们才可能对中国改观。
It's that pretty much everyone would agree. China, by sheer dint of its size and confidence, is a bit of a bully. It is a bully on territories in the South China Sea. It is a bully on sort of using economic power against those with whom it disagrees in their foreign policies. It is a bully, but it is not attempting to subvert the rest of the world's economic and political systems to become like its own. But then how do we deal with this very big bully? I think that is the issue ASEAN has to deal with. But I think everybody agrees China is good for the global economy and we need to have China continue to grow.
China should manage the South China dispute not in its own context, but rather in the broad context of China's relations with the region. So that is not just about, territorial and maritime dispute. It's also about China's long-term partnership with the region, because many countries in this region, they view the South China issue as a kind of a test of China's strategic intention. So that's something we should bear in mind.
亚细安国家对大国的信任度全面下滑，只有日本是例外。日本继续稳坐东南亚最信任大国之冠，其后依序为美国、欧盟、中国和印度。南中国海局势则加剧亚细安国家对中国的不安。除了东南亚唯一的内陆国家老挝以外，亚细安的每一个国家里，不信任中国的人都比信任的多。其中对华不信任度最高的是菲律宾、缅甸、越南。在中美竞争加剧以及人们对大国信任度下降的背景下，东南亚民众越来越重视亚细安自身的区域领导力。新加坡和印尼被视为亚细安成员国中对亚细安长远发展和进步贡献最大的2个成员国，分别获得 66% 和 41.5% 受访者的肯定。多达 46.5% 的受访者对2023年10月7日爆发的以哈冲突表示高度关注，甚至高于自家门前的南中国海紧张局势。
There are over 250 million Muslims in Southeast Asia. Almost all of them are deeply affected by what they're seeing in Gaza, the suffering of innocent Palestinians. This will have a huge long-term impact on ordinary people's views about the sanctity of international rule of law, about the preservation of the rules-based order. In that sense, it's fundamentally damaging. I think what's going to happen with Israel-Hamas is going to be profound for this part of the world in people's perceptions about world order.